It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS.
I want to talk a couple of partnerships that we got in the works at Blue Skies, cool things that we're up to. And then I want to get a little update from Michael Gregory. And that's kind of like my first transition because the two kind of go together. So if you go on to the yourblueskies.com website, well, let me back up for a little bit. We have always, at Blue Skies, we've always had recruiting, bookkeeping, and marketing as like our three pillars of administrative services. And we settled on that because that is the stuff we could do for ourselves when we had these 9 other home service companies across the country. Those were the 3 things that we could do best for ourselves. We actually, and this surprised a lot of people, we actually took remote phone answering out of that and put it back at the locations. We always had better luck having the phone get answered locally. Now, we still will use like a Jill's office or something like that to supplement. But for a while, we had like a call center kind of centralized and it didn't grow great. But recruiting went really well. Bookkeeping went really well. And marketing went really well for us when it was digitally focused. And so if you look at our website or any of the stuff at our booth when we're at a convention, it still says all 3. We haven't done marketing specifically for people for a few years. We used to have Paul on our team that was our marketing director, and he did all of our stuff internally. And so he did some Google ads for people externally. He did some copywriting and stuff, but he wasn't a super entrepreneurial dude. He ended up, and this was a great role for him. And so there's no like hard feelings. He's a good buddy of mine. But he ended up taking a job as like an account manager for a marketing company. He's doing awesome. But it left a void in our business. And I said, I don't want to fill that void with an employee. I want to fill that void with a partner that can like own that space. And I've known Michael for a long time. And so as a result of like doing the show and talking to Michael and stuff like that, one of the things that he and I are working on is how we can partner on this stuff. So if you go to yourblueskies.com, there's always been a book of recruiting demo and book of bookkeeping demo. There's now a book of marketing demo, and that's Michael's calendar. So if you want marketing going, it's all in one place. It's just going to flow smoothly over to Click, Call, Sell, so that he can help you out with marketing stuff. So one of the things, like I said, that I'm working on and glad Michael's on the show today is how he and I can work together so that we can do this trifecta that I always wanted to do at Blue Skies, where we can have marketing as an offering to administrative clients. So I'm pretty pumped about that. And it feels good to have a marketing demo button on our website. It makes me feel like we're whole. A stool doesn't stand up very well with 2 legs, but 3 legs is the most sturdy stool. Just so happens. I got one other cool thing that we're working on, which is the number one reason for client attrition in our bookkeeping business is because people think that their CPA and their bookkeeper should be the same person. And especially this time of year, when you're doing your taxes and you're talking to your CPA, they're all like, why don't you let us handle your bookkeeping? The bookkeeper you have doesn't know how to do stuff because they put labor in cost of goods sold. And we're like, yeah, we put it there because like you're running a service business and the CPA wants you to do bookkeeping for tax reasons and you need to do bookkeeping for managerial reasons, for finance reasons. They can move, like if all the data's in there and it's reconciled, they can put it into whatever tax software buckets they need to, but that's not what your bookkeeping is for. Your bookkeeping is for you to make better decisions and make more money. It shouldn't be organized the way they need it for taxes. It needs to be organized the way you need it to run your business. So we lose a lot of clients in the springtime because they're working with their CPA a lot and their CPA wants that bookkeeping revenue and will sell it for dirt cheap to get recurring revenue throughout the year, right? But then like 4 months go by and they're like, for the love of God, please take us back because we haven't got one P&L report from our CPA. And I'm always like, no shit, you haven't, because they're a CPA. They're not a bookkeeper. They're not your finance person. And you gave them your bookkeeping during tax time, and you are not a priority during tax time. They do your bookkeeping for themselves, not for you. They're not going to send you a report that helps you run your business. They're there to do your taxes. When they say bookkeeping, they're thinking categorizing transactions to do your taxes, not to send you good P&L reports. So we always have to like try to differentiate that. We still lose people in the spring. We actually just got one back who is now officially our biggest client. We literally today, Michael, that should have been a win. That should have been my win for the day when we were talking earlier. It's our first over $1,000 a month client that we've ever had, and we're doing a lot of stuff for them. But as our capability set is growing, both just from our processes, but also our people, we can take more off of them, more onto us, and so that's pretty cool. But it was a client that had been a client of ours really from the get-go for like 4 years, left right before the end of the year because they wanted to do stuff and roll it in with their CPA. And here we are in mid-May, and they're already back. And literally at least half the people that leave to have their CPA do the books come back. I have another one that we're working on it right now. But a lot of times they come back, but they're like, well, now I'm kind of burned with my CPA because they made all these promises and they couldn't keep them. And so they're looking for a new CPA, right? So for that reason, and to just alleviate the flux that we have in Q1 of losing clients because we can't do their taxes, we're working on a CPA partnership. So I have a guy that we're working with, Stefan Silva. I had him on my late night happy hour show not too long ago. His company is called the Silva Solution. And so he's rolling in, and we're kind of embedding him into our offering of, hey, if you're a bookkeeping client, now we have the CPA option for you so you can get your taxes done. You don't need to have a whole bunch of different relationships. We're working with him on a regular basis. And so I think that's a really cool offering. It's not fully intertwined in everything yet, so that it still feels kind of choppy for our clients, like you have two different relationships, but we're going down this path of being able to work pretty seamlessly so that to the end client, it feels like one relationship where they can get all of their bookkeeping and tax needs in one place without having to sacrifice the skill sets, right? Without having to sacrifice good bookkeeping or good taxes. They can get both in one feeling relationship. So I'm super pumped about that. We haven't promoted it a whole lot. We're still working on what it looks like. We're still working on how we partner on everything. But it's been something I've been working on for a long time. And we've looked at hiring a tax person. And the downside to that is I don't want to be stuck holding the bag if they quit, frankly. Like, I want to make sure it's somebody that's a business owner that can't leave, right? They need to be as invested as anybody. And we've looked at doing some acquisitions, and they just weren't the right fit. Either the partner wasn't right or the business wasn't right. And so I think we're going down this path. We'll see what comes of it. But I feel good talking about it. We sent a ton of clients his way, and we've gotten a lot of really good feedback. It's pretty fun to have that tax solution for people, where they can kind of have their cake and eat it too. So those are some of the big things I'm up to. A lot of big parts moving at Blue Skies, which is super fun and adding a whole lot of value for home service business owners. Hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one or check out this one and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder, go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.